Friends, in this video I'm going to talk about one of the most important secret knowledge in Eastern philosophy. The observer is the observed. Guys, if you could understand the actual truth hidden in these words, they are enough to enlighten you. These words by J. Krishnamurti, who himself was an enlightened being, are so powerful that they can change your perspective towards life completely forever. According to him, the observer is the observed, the thinker is the thought, and the analyzer is the analyzed. But for most people, it's very difficult to understand what these lines mean, and it is even more difficult to realize it. So, I will try to reveal the hidden ultimate knowledge in this statement with some interesting examples. The observer is the observed. But how? When you observe a person or an object, you actually see it based on your own perspective and your previously stored information about it. You already have some data about the observed objects. Let me tell you that all the things or the events that we observe in this universe are meaningless until there is someone to give it some meaning. You actually observe your own imposed thoughts on the observed object. Whatever you observe about the observed cannot cross the limits of your own thoughts about that object. This thought includes all types of things like your stored data and your beliefs about it. You cannot imagine or think beyond your level of intelligence or imagination. So, when you build an image about something, you actually see that image in the observed object. Hence, there is the image and the observer of the image. This is the reason why everyone perceives the world according to his own perception. Therefore, the same world looks different for different people. Hence, it is indeed true that the observer is the observed, because the observer sees the projection of himself in the observed. Let's try to understand it with some examples. We believe in our own gods. What is it? First, we create a god with our imagination, then worship him with great faith. So, what is God here? Our God is nothing but our thought. So ultimately we are worshipping our thoughts. We have imposed our imagination and thoughts on our God. Hence that God is ultimately the manifestation of the thoughts of the observer. So the observer is not different from the observed. That's the reason why our gods look like us, a human, of course a superhuman with resemblance to human body. Let me ask you, how would the god of dogs look like? They would obviously imagine a very powerful, beautiful dog as their god. Oh, I just noticed that the reverse of the word dog is God. Joking apart, is there any possibility that the god of dogs would look like humans or like a horse? Certainly not. So dogs can see themselves in their god. It would be a super dog. Dogs cannot think better than that. The same phenomenon applies when someone reads a book or scripture like Bible or Bhagavad Gita. We do not read it. We actually read ourselves in the book. We interpret the teachings of the scripture as per our mind. Although words in the book are same for everyone, but there would be a large difference in what they infer. Depth of your interpretation would be equal to the depth of your intelligence. So all these examples prove that no one can see or imagine more than his limit. We see the world from our own perspective. Once you realize this, that the observer is the observed, you go closer to the absolute truth. After knowing this, we experience that we are not separate. Separation is just an illusion because everything is connected. And once you realize it, all your worries and anxieties vanish instantly. You stop chasing things as you are now aware that all is one. What I want to achieve, I already have. Your hatred and jealousy ends completely and you start to love everyone and everything. Because now you have understood the deepest truth and all your illusions have vanished that separate you from other. You have realized that you were actually seeing your own image in others. The observed was not separate from the observer. The observer is the observed from J. Krishnamurti is the ultimate knowledge given by him. There are two levels of understanding of anything. One is the intellectual understanding and another is the actual understanding. Here also, even if you understand the meaning of the observer is the observed from your intelligence, you will still be far away from enlightenment because it is just the superficial level. But actual understanding takes place when you realize this thing in your life. When you actually get that experience, you feel that you are not separate from what you observe. To come out of this conflict, first you need to identify your ego, which separates you from rest of the world. To identify your ego is the first step to dissolve it. You need to realize how you see the whole universe from a focal point created at your eye. After knowing the illusion of separation, you can practice mindfulness to experience how the observer is the observed. You may try this simple exercise to realize it. When you look at anything or anyone, try to clear all the stored information regarding it. For example, you may assume you know nothing about your father. He is just an unknown person to you. Imagine you have forgotten even your relationship with him. You don't know his personality either. Now observe that guy after clearing all your stored information about him. You can now see him from a different perspective. You will observe new things in him that day. Everyone sees him from different perspective as per the observer. If the observer is your mother, she will see a husband in him. Your grandfather would see him as his son, his friends as a friend, and so on. Hence, your father gets changed as the observer changes. All the observers see him based on their relationship with him. So it's true that observer sees the observed according to his thoughts imposed on him. Hence, observed becomes the image of the observer. So to come out of this illusion, we need to understand that everything is meaningless. We are the ones who give it our own meaning and see it accordingly. To know the absolute truth, you need to identify this illusion, then see the world objectively. You will have to remove all your biases and pre-assumptions. After getting rid of all the filters, you can see the true picture of the world and progress on the path of your spiritual journey. My dear friends, I hope after watching this video, you will practice it in your life and clear all your filters that stop you from seeing the true nature of the reality. This is all for now. Friends, if you found the video insightful, then please like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching the video till the end. So see you soon in the next video. Till then, bye bye, take care.